Tom Pelissero put out this post this morning, so we're going to talk about it on the show, as well as a couple other ways that the New Orleans Saints could possibly save some money with that cap situation that's oh so bad. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Trace Girouard, and let's dive into Pelissero's report. He tweeted out, the Saints have begun their annual cap clearing endeavor, converting Pro Bowl center Erik McCoy's salary and roster bonus to free up $7.18 million in cap space. So now taking a look at the updated cap situation, the Saints are about $75 million, give or take, over the salary cap. And we've talked about it before, but we'll talk about it again. Mike Florio recently reported that the 2024 salary cap could actually increase from $243 million up to about $250 million. So we'll see what happens there. I expect some of that to be figured out after the Combine. And speaking of the Combine, we got a programming announcement. Be sure to subscribe for Saints News and Rumors, because we will be at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, giving you guys some coverage, talking about some players, going to get some interviews with some prospects, with some NFL media people, and all sorts of awesome other coverage out there. So be sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss a thing. And before we dive into the rest of today's video, got to give a big time shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and it is Prize Picks. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and you plug in promo code CLNS, you can get a first time deposit match up to $100. And so Prize Picks, it's the best daily fantasy sports app, and it's the number one daily fantasy sports app in North America for a reason. How you play? You pick two or more players, just pick more or less based on their projected stat lines, and voila, you win some money. So NFL's not going on. I'm not crazy into the NBA, but I do love me some MLB. So I'm going to put out some projections for the entire season. It's a long year in the MLB, so I'm going to try and stay plugged in all season long. I'm going to Adolis Garcia more than 32.5 home runs. I'm going Trey Turner more than 27.5 stolen bases, and Juan Soto. That man plays in a little league park, so I'm taking him to go more than 35.5 home runs. If you want to fade my picks, if you want to tail my picks, or you want to make any sort of picks on NHL, on esports, on racing, golf, anything, go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Plug in that promo code CLNS so you can get that $100 deposit match. That way, Prize Picks knows that we sent you. All right, let's talk about a cap casualty. Could New Orleans look to move on from safety Marcus Maye? And I do think that this is a player who does have a good impact on the team when he plays. But this season, he dealt with some injuries. In previous season, he's had suspension issues and all sorts of other stuff. So should the Saints even bring him back? Is it worth the money, or is it worth just trying to save a buck and rolling with the rookie? So let's talk about it, because in pre-June 1st, if you cut him before June 1st, the Saints would save just over $1 million. And you would have $8.5 million in dead money, meaning you have to pay that out, and you can spread it out over future years, but we could look, if this is the route they go, the Saints could be paying Marcus Maye in like 2025 and in 2026. Post June 1, if you were to cut him after June 1st, you would save $7.23 million and only have $2.5 million in dead money. But the caveat there, and the little catch is, you can only pick two players to be post June 1 cuts to designate them as that designation. So that's kind of where it gets tough. And I do think, though, that Jordan Howden was really, really good, guys. I mean, the late round draft pick from Dennis Allen out of Minnesota really lit it up when he was called on. He was not a starter going into the season, but he, I believe, earned starting reps going into this offseason. 43 tackles compared to Marcus Maye's 37. He had more pass breakups than Maye. Now, obviously, Maye has 2 interceptions, 0 from the rookie, but the PFF coverage and overall grades favor Jordan Howden. Now, the thing about it is you don't even have to cut Marcus Maye. If you want to save the money and you don't want to bring on that dead cap hit, I went through the over-the-cap calculator, I guess is how I would say it. And if they restructure his contract, the Saints could actually save $4.3 million. So that could be a route that the Saints could go. You can restructure a ton of contracts, and the Saints are going to restructure a ton of contracts. They started with Erik McCoy. They did Marshawn Lattimore a while back, so now the restructures should start flowing in. But I want you to be the GM for me. Put yourself in Mickey Loomis's shoes. What would you do with the veteran safety? Would you cut him? Would you restructure him? Let me know just by typing C or R down in the comments section. Now, in terms of other players that you could restructure, here's 10 contracts that I could see the Saints trying to restructure. They already did Erik McCoy, but Demario Davis, Carl Granderson, Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, Tyrann Mathieu, Juwan Johnson, Nathan Shepard, Jamal Williams, and Foster Moreau could all be guys that could be restructured. And I actually did talk about this in a recent video, and I would encourage you to check it out because in this video, I saved the New Orleans Saints over $100 million. So the link to this video is in the comment section, the description of this video. It's pretty easy to find, or just go to the channel to check it out because I found a way to save a lot of money by not having to lose a lot of important players on the roster. So check it out. I encourage you to look at it. And then I wanted to finish off today's video, just kind of a quick little thought session, kind of spitting some game, if you will. I saw some buzz on Saints Twitter when I was scripting this video out, and I saw some people talking about, hey, let's bring back Thomas Morstead, the punter. Let's get him back in New Orleans. Y'all remember the halftime kick in the Super Bowl? That was awesome. Y'all remember all the good times with Thomas Morstead? He was really good for a long time in New Orleans, but Saints decided to go with Blake Gillikin. Thomas Morstead found himself in Miami and with the New York Jets, with the Atlanta Falcons. So could the reunion be in order? But I want to talk about the comparison between Lou Hedley, the current punter, and Thomas Morstead, former Saints punter. So this is in the 2023 stats here. I find this pretty interesting. Lou Hedley, only 75 punts as opposed to Morstead, 99 punts. So the yards per punt heavily favor Thomas Morstead. That 43.0 yards per punt for Hedley isn't that great. I'll give you that. But the return yards, the New Orleans Saints wanted to go with a different style. They wanted to do the Aussie style punting where you're running and you're kicking it. It's not going to flip the field, but you're not going to get big time returns, and you can see that on the screen. Hedley also had 4 touchbacks as opposed to Morstead's 8, and Hedley 31 punts inside the 20. Hedley recorded 31 punts inside the red zone, which is tied for the 5th highest total in the NFL and 2nd highest total in a single season in franchise history for the New Orleans Saints. Now, the net yards at the bottom of your screen, you can see that. It's pretty heavily favors Morstead, but I also think that Hedley only allowing 5.6 return yards per punt is a really big deal. Now, he's not going to flip the field. I said that a second ago, but he's not, like, Hedley isn't going to have a massive boot and take the Saints from their red zone to the opposing red zone. That's just not going to happen. But they're not going to have big-time returns. You're not going to have to worry about a special teams breakdown on those punts. There's a lot of criticism for Lou Hedley, and I think some of it is warranted, but I also think that some of it isn't necessarily coming from, like, a place of what's actually happening. It's coming from a place of you're not kicking the ball far. And I understand. That's what punters' jobs are to do. It's to flip the field, set yourself up on the defensive side of the ball to succeed, but they're also not going to give big-time returns up. And punt returners are only getting more athletic and more elusive and more dynamic. So I don't hate the idea of keeping Lou Hedley around, but I also wouldn't necessarily bring back Morstead. If you want to go and get a guy, bring back the punt god, Matt Araiza. I think that he could be a really special name to look for. So pick a punter for me, Saints fans. If you had to pick between these two, just give me a Lou for the Aussie. Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Or you can go Thomas Morstead. Just give me a Tom in the comment section. And as always, Saints fans, don't forget to subscribe so you can get our NFL Combine coverage. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.